The following programme is a presentation of Jez Sports. Hello again, everyone. Happy holidays and welcome to the Main Event Podcast. We're here today to discuss AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming. As always, I'm Jez, very festive today.
Here you are.
And there's Dan, very smug and belty today.
Yes, very smug. Very smug. Smug.
Mucho smuggo. Yeah. I'm coming for it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you seem to be at the moment.
Yeah, that's all I will say.
We'll have to see what today brings.
We will see what today brings, but spoiler alert, even though we have done our new submitting our predictions separately thing, we predicted identically, and that worked and didn't work in equal measure. So
yes,
we'll get into that as time goes on. But yes, this was a special episode of Dynamite, their third annual Winter is Coming.
Yeah, something like
that. They do the Dynamite Diamond Ring final on it every year, and it has seen such standout moments as Sting's debut in AEW. Something happened last year, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
I think maybe the world title changed hands or something. I can't remember. Who knows? But this year, we had the promise of a decent event with a good main event in MJF versus Ricky Starks.
Mm-hmm.
Did it meet that hype? Let's find out. Opening contest was match 4 in the Best of 7 series for the AEW Trios Championship. It was the Elite versus Death Triangle once again.
Yeah, again.
In a word, give me a word. I like doing this. In a word, this match was...
meh.
Yeah. What did you like about it?
It's very much turning into control, copy, paste.
Yes and no, because in my pros and my cons, I have the same statement. Slower match.
Yes.
It was a lot slower than the previous matches,
and
I really couldn't tell watching it whether that was a good or a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like when you have these 6 guys together, you kind of know what you're getting. You're getting a kind of flippy-dippy, high-flying, spot monkey kind of match.
Yeah.
And when you don't get that, twat the mic, you kind of lose a lot of the charm, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you want to see them slow down every now and again and not give you all of that stuff that not everybody enjoys? So I'm kind of on the fence about it being slower.
Yeah, well, I guess if they're always doing the flippy-dippy stuff, as you put it, it just becomes not interesting.
Yeah, it becomes the norm, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so then when they change the formula, it makes me act like, oh, that was different.
Yeah.
Was it different good? Was it different bad? I don't know.
Yeah.
They
used the hammer in a different way.
They did use the hammer in a different way, and one of my pros is that the hammer continued. That has been the theme of this rivalry since before it was a best of 7 series. And you've still got, not Penta, what's the brother called?
Fenix.
Yeah, thank you, Ray Fenix. Kind of not being fully on board with using the hammer. And even after they'd won using the hammer, he was kind of, sat on the ramp questioning life and wondering whether he'd done the right thing or not.
Yeah.
So I like that continuation. Did you have any other pros, things you liked?
No, you've basically summed it up.
I have a few more.
All right, go for it.
I think giving one of the Young Bucks, in this case Nick Jackson, an injury during the match was a good idea to balance out the very real broken nose that Pac has got. I feel like it was a nice way to balance that out
with his slipping mask.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to, like, especially with the kind of action that they provide. Flipping around, lots of close headlock type stuff, being kicked in the face. It's going to move. So he's obviously taking a risk continuing to wrestle with a broken nose. We thank Pac for that. I would say, moving on to cons, that this is probably the weakest match in the series so far.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Considering, I mean, I know one of them was on pay-per-view, that started on pay-per-view, and they've had a few different kind of special Dynamites, but I would have liked this special Dynamite, an event that they tried to pull out all the stops for. I would have liked this match to be a bit better in that regard. We could have had the no DQ stip that they're adding to next week's match on this match to make it a bit more interesting. But I am intrigued as to how it's going to end, because and the way that this event has gone in general is a big kind of question mark for that. What you should expect to happen now is that the Elite win out and are able to win, because that creates a good story and it's good drama. But that's predictable. So you instead next week just go bam, it's over. Death Triangle win. They've won 4-1. Screw you, Elite. That's it. No more fees.
Yeah, I'd like that.
And you wouldn't expect that to happen because they have advertised the dates of all of the other matches. So
so I was going to go away in it.
It comes down to a question of, do you go with predictable, or do you go with no, anything can happen in All Elite Wrestling? I would like that to happen, personally.
Yeah.
I would like to go, we were going to have the final on New Year's Day, or whatever that's called, New Year's Smash, the one that they're doing then. But unfortunately, that's not the way the series went, so never mind.
I'd love that.
I would personally like
that. But, the Elite...
that's the way it's going to go. But
the Elite are the kind of poster boys at the moment, and they're producers as well, so
that certainly doesn't hurt their chances of winning the whole thing. No. And the fact that they were already the champions and it was taken from them because of drama with somebody else and all that kind of stuff. So,
yes.
Yeah. And then my last con isn't necessarily about this match. It's about Dynamite in general and AEW in general, and it's been the case for a few weeks now. Sound levels in AEW are trash. Whoever is the main producer needs to sit back and sort their stuff out, because you can't hear the entrance music in the arena. Like, very rarely can you hear it anyway. Like, I like Death Triangle's music and the whole entrance, and it is a great entrance. Could I hear the music? Could you hear the drum line, the drum bass when they were doing the light activation at the top? No. So was it any good? Not at all. And also, while the Dynamite intro was playing, I turned my volume up to an appropriate level to only then find Excalibur shouting at me because the noise level of that was far greater than their opening video. And I've got to turn it up again for backstage interviews and turn it back down for matches. It's awful. Sort it out. You're supposed to be a professional company. This is unbelievably bad.
Rant over?
Con. Well, for now, until I get to an interview that I'm having to turn up, probably. But
yeah, well, I mean, rant over for now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they won't fix it, so I'll be ranting about it again when we come back for whatever's the next AEW event we cover.
Revolution?
Probably, yeah. Unless they try and do something extra special.
Well, that's something to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy ranting.
Well, if
it happens quite a lot.
It does happen quite a lot. If you would like to catch further ranting from me, there's a whole show for that. That's Don't Get Me Started every Tuesday night on Twitch. at DGMS Live. Predictions. We both went with Death Triangle. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Bit of a strange move on our part. Maybe we're just like, no, they're going to end it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Regardless, we were wrong. The Elite picked up the win, and therefore we start Winter is Coming with nothing. And I'm not Team 3Ding, I'm zeroing.
Zeroing.
Big fat zero. Yeah. And then we move into some backstage segments. We had what was another epic promo from MJF, but you know, it would more be noteworthy and worth discussion if it was a bad promo. I think that would be the shock here. MJF is knocking everything out of the park at the moment. And then we were promised a visit from the Acclaimed. Yeah. And instead they were attacked by Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Jeff Jarrett, and Satnav Singh.
Satnav Singh.
Yeah.
Love a good Satnav Singh.
He knew where he was supposed to be, and he got there on time.
He knew all the good routes.
Any thoughts about this pair of segments?
Well, the MJF was just... It was MJF. Always happy for that.
Yeah.
The other bit... Do we need Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal going after the tag team championships?
Probably not, no. But, you know, I do like Jeff Jarrett. I'm a big fan of Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
So giving him a championship belt in what will be 2023, maybe I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The Acclaim need somebody to be chasing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the belts are doing anything for the Acclaimed. I think the Acclaimed are already over. And I suppose the Acclaimed are elevating the tag team titles, but at the same time, they're not defending them all that often either.
No.
So are they really elevating? Who knows? But yeah, we'll see that going forward. And then out of that, we had another interview / promo backstage with the Jericho Appreciation Society. The only reason I want to bring that up is because of the final moment of that interview where it had all been fairly serious, and, you know, Jericho had been upset that he lost the Ring of Honor title and saying what he was going to do later on in the night, and Daniel Garcia got put with Sammy Guevara and all that good stuff. And then just out of nowhere, when everybody had stopped talking, Jake Hager just shouts in the background, "I like this hat!" And it actually made me laugh out loud. It's stupid and ridiculous, but I love all of that nonsense so damn much.
Oh, that's good then.
Did it not elicit the same response from you?
It kind of made me chuckle, but it didn't make me laugh out loud.
Oh no, I love it. I'm regretting we're not getting We the Purple, I think, is part of that. On to the next contest, which we did not predict. I feel like they could have announced this match in advance, but they did not. It was Brian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. In a word, again.
In a word, meh.
Still meh?
Meh.
I wonder if we're going to break out of the meh the more I do that.
Probably not.
Show. So, not thoroughly enjoyed. What did you like about it?
Well, I like the fact that, you know, Jungle Boy knows how to throw himself around.
Yeah, that's one of mine as well. JB took a beating as usual is my note here at Pros.
Got that, and also more not to do with the match, but more to do with what happened after the match. Yeah.
Hook and the pop that Hook got is in my pros for sure. I enjoyed that. The only other pro I have is that I liked Jungle Boy selling the injury that he received the previous week. Yeah. I like to see that. You don't see a terrible amount of just selling a normal injury from a normal match and just being a little bit sore from wrestling week on week. That's good storytelling. But I think my cons, even though there are less of them, outweigh the pros, because I really did not like the booking of this match at all. No. You had Jungle Boy winning after Cage was fresh off winning a championship. He's a 6-man tag team champion in ROH now.
Yeah.
He dominated the entire match.
Yeah.
And he tapped out behind the referee's back. So in every possible way, we made Brian Cage look weak.
Yeah.
And Jungle Boy just won on a quick move. It was. I don't have a problem with Jungle Boy winning. I have a problem with how they set it up and how it was booked to happen. Why didn't we have Big Bill, terrible name, come to the ring, or just come out to the ramp and cause a distraction to have Brian Cage pick up a win?
Yeah.
There's no reason that Brian Cage couldn't have won this. That would have been legitimate. But once again, we've got this monster who apparently can't beat people a third of his size. And where do you go with that? Like,
God knows.
Terrible, terrible booking. But we didn't predict it. I do get the feeling that we'd have probably got that one right, but we'd have probably predicted the same anyway. So oh well. Then we moved backstage again for a Jon Moxley promo, followed by Claudio Castagnoli and Yuta promo. It happened.
Yeah.
It
was a promo that happened.
It was a promo that happened, absolutely.
Not a match that happened, a promo that happened.
Well, it was followed by, in my opinion, a match that happened. Next up, we had the House of Black versus To Be Announced, as it was booked, and they took on The Factory. In a word, Dan.
Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah.
Meh.
I wouldn't even give it that much, to be honest with you. Like, there were bits I liked. Don't get me wrong, but once again, my pros are in direct conflict with my cons. I put dominance as a pro. Yeah. I enjoyed the House of Black's dominance. Yeah. And then in the cons, in direct opposition to the thing I liked, I put squash. Yeah. Because there was not really any necessary reason for this to happen other than to just put House of Black on television. Yeah. And if they were going to do that, why couldn't they have squashed, local team B of jobbers? Like, I don't. I mean,
admittedly, we're not the biggest fan of The Factory.
No, but nobody is. That's kind of their point. They're supposed to be just like, oh, go away, Factory. That's supposed to be their thing. That is their shtick. But they have to do something every now and again. Otherwise, why would they bother existing? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I did like that Julia Hart delivered the miss to Nick Comoroto at the beginning. That was enjoyable. Yeah. And it was unfortunate, it has to go in the cons column, that the table didn't break on the cool Buddy Matthews double team thing that they did at the Timekeeper's table. That was slightly disappointing. But what is not disappointing, if we have finished talking about the match itself, was that we both predicted the House of Black to win, obviously, and finally in this episode, we're the ones.
We are the ones.
Backstage, we had a Jamie Hayter / Hikaru Shida hype video for their match coming up, I believe, next Wednesday on not New Year, Holiday Bash.
Something.
Whatever. And then we had a Dr. Britt Baker DMD interviewed, which was interrupted by Cora Jade Light.
Cora Jade Light.
Are they related? Is that a thing? Because
I don't know.
They could be twins, honestly.
It could be.
They look identical.
I think this might need Googling.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it now, but...
No.
But also, if I'm AEW, seeing the development of Cora Jade in the last year, I would be busting my ass to differentiate Sky Blue from Cora Jade. Yeah. Because at the moment, Sky Blue is just Cora Jade circa this time last year. Yeah. Before she, turned heel and actually became a bit of a badass.
Became relevant.
When she was just generic, wears a baseball cap backwards, kind of skater girl.
I think that was before she started dating Bron Breakker.
There you go. If you want to get over in this world, apparently you need to start dating Bron Breakker.
Yeah. So there you go.
Does wonders for your wrestling character.
Yes.
Can't wait to see who does it next. Maybe Bray Wyatt. Anyway, next match.
Maybe Mandy Rose.
I think she's got all the attention that she needs, to be honest with you. But
I've done my research.
That is a conversation for another time, and possibly a more X-rated show. Next match, Chris Jericho versus to be announced.
Yeah.
And announced was Action Andretti.
Who?
Exactly. I did wonder, and I haven't done the research, any relation to, Mario Andretti and the famous Andretti racing family. I wouldn't expect there is, but that would be neat.
Maybe.
That would be pretty cool.
Be cool, but I doubt it.
Yeah, especially because IndyCar, which is where the Andrettis currently own a team, amongst other places, their development arm that used to be called Indy Lights, as of next year, is called Indy NXT.
Oh,
yeah. I was waiting for the lawsuit to happen and for them to say, "Oh, actually, we're going back to Indy Lights because we like that better." I.e., we got sued by WWE, but it hasn't happened yet. So it's been a few months.
Just wait
for that one.
They're gonna turn it from black and gold to multicolored, and then back to black and gold again.
Black and yellow, gold and yellow, gold and white. Saying words. Never mind. Action Andretti picks up the win here against Chris Jericho in a 1-2-3 kid versus Scott Hall kind of move from back in the day. In a word, again, I'm going to do this for the whole episode. See if we can break away from the meh. In a word, this match was
meh.
Oh, it was better than meh.
Okay, meh.
You can use a different word if you want. You don't have to say meh.
No, I've got to stick with the meh now.
Oh, right, okay. What did you like about this match?
Well, I like the fact that Jericho's helping the younger guys get over.
Yeah, if it was his choice, but I assume it.
Yeah,
I assume Jericho pretty much has creative control over his own character.
Yeah, he's done that before, hasn't he? He's had younger guys and he's had to put them over, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure he has lost to the guys that he's put over previously, but he had great rivalries with Scorpio Sky in the early days of AEW while he was AEW champion. Didn't lose that, obviously, because he'd have lost the title. Did he lose to Jungle Boy in the end in that whole debacle?
I think he has.
He did. I think he might have done. And then he did the same with Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy came out the better end of that.
Yeah.
Again, the winning and losing has not really been important in his building of the younger talent so far. And I think this was kind of a new for Chris Jericho developing talent in AEW way of putting someone over, because it didn't have the long build up to it. It was just, I'm going to face a jobber. And I got beaten by the jobber while I'm at my lowest because I've just lost, a world championship. So I liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I think the crowd were on point.
Yeah.
I think had the crowd not acted the way they had, this moment wouldn't have been as big as it was.
No.
Between the "you tapped out" chants to just really pile on Jericho at the beginning, to the "let's go jobber" chants, really getting behind Action Andretti, but also kind of dehumanizing him in a way. Just like, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to lose. Let's go jobber. Like, we'll get behind whoever you are. Who cares? You're just a jobber. So I liked earlier in the match how stunned Jericho acted about the fact that he kicked out. He's like, but he's a jobber. Like, I'm the Ocho. How did he kick out? How is this possible?
Yeah.
Just incredulousness from it. And then after he won, which was obviously a pro, the crowd dive, they say when you celebrate things, or when you have a big moment, you should act like you've been there before and that you always belong there. He definitely did not, and that was the fun part of that for me. Did a crowd dive like it was the greatest moment of his life, which it probably was. And then after the match, Jericho just going around smashing stuff up backstage. Yeah, all good. All good, really. Did you have any cons?
Not really.
The only thing I noted was that Jobber Boy was a bit sloppy and is very green, but he's, Jobber Boy. So
he's Jobber Boy.
Now that he is all elite officially, he can spend some time on Dark for the next 6 years and get rid of that sloppy greenness. It's kind of what you would expect.
And then come over to NXT.
Probably. Yeah. Although it seems to be happening the other way around a lot more still.
Yeah.
Even in these times of Triple H, as we call them.
Although Cora Jade was on Dark, wasn't she? And then went over to...
Yeah, just the once. Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between somebody that is signed to AEW and they do just have, local talent on Dark. Cora Jade was never signed to AEW.
No, okay.
She was just... a local talent doing a match, and the majority of the wrestlers on Dark are not signed to contracts. So and especially Dark Elevation. I don't think anybody is signed on Dark Elevation.
I don't think anyone watches that.
I don't think anybody watches either, really. No.
Yeah.
Never have I ever watched AEW Dark. Just hasn't happened. In the same way that I don't watch, what is it, NXT Level Up? Is that what it's called?
It's just called Level Up.
It's just called Level Up.
I think it's just WWE Level Up.
Right. Yeah. I don't watch that either.
Yeah. No.
I don't feel the need. Yeah. You might get me to watch the Ring of Honor weekly show when that comes on. But I'll probably watch that with the same frequency as I watch Impact Wrestling, which is, I'll just watch the pay-per-views.
The only thing I'll say about Level Up is on there they do have that a deaf wrestler.
Oh, really?
So, and I've seen bits of him, and he's quite interesting to watch, actually.
Yeah, I would be intrigued to know how that works.
Yeah, you can kind of see how it works by the other wrestler. They make sure they're in his eye line all the time, and they do funny stuff with their hands, I think, to tell him what's coming.
Oh, okay.
So it's interesting.
Maybe I will. I'll tune into that at least. That does sound interesting. But you would hope that we'll see this guy. Is it a guy?
It's a guy. Yeah. I can't remember his name.
On the main NXT show at some point.
Yeah.
Because there's been a bit of turnover already that we really didn't want, and I expect there'll be more turnover to come.
Yeah.
In the coming weeks leading up to the Royal Rumble. So yeah. Anyway, digression slightly, but we obviously, because why wouldn't you, predicted Chris Jericho to win in a match against A to Be Announced. So we got that one wrong.
Yeah. It's all right, though, because it means we're still the ones.
Still the ones. Absolutely.
We can respect our tribal chief.
Next up, backstage was a Ricky Starks promo. What did you think of this?
All right.
It was all right. It was a pretty good promo, actually. Yeah. But obviously you've got to compare it to his opponent, and his opponent is MJF, and you're never going to be better than MJF. So,
no.
Because no one is. Who is? So
MJF is just the bomb.
I think AEW have kind of backed themselves into a corner a little bit, and they need to find a way to tell stories without the people who are facing MJF cutting promos, because you're never going to be at that level unless you're a CM Punk who could hold his own on the microphone. I don't know. It didn't do Ricky Starks any favors, any of the microphone moments in this rivalry, I don't think. But we'll come back to the match a bit later on. The next match was Ty Mello versus Ruby Soho. Let's get predictions in first. We both went with Ruby Soho, which was the correct response. And we are now the twos. Thank you. I think Dan's broken.
I'm back. I broke a bit there. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I was just saying, we're now the twos.
We are the twos.
There you go. Don't even need to edit that. Who cares? Now, in this Ty Mello Ruby Soho match, did you like it, first of all?
I thought it was better than the other matches.
Of the night, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I half agree and I half disagree.
Go.
I liked pre-match. I really, really liked Ty Mello being aggressive pre-match. I think it was a side of her that we don't often see.
Yeah.
She is this kind of like pin-up girl that is, on the arm of Sammy Guevara, and so we often forget, that she's a expert in Brazilian jiu-jitsu and all of that kind of stuff, and that she can actually hold her own. Still very green on a wrestling point of view, but
yes.
We forget how good she can be. So I enjoyed seeing her aggressive side. And then later on when they took to the ramp as well, that was nice. That was my only real pro as far as the actual match and wrestling was concerned. Any match-related good stuff from you?
Well, I liked how Ruby was getting a bit more vicious with everything, and just, you broke my nose, so I'm going to try and break yours.
Seems a reasonable response if you're a wrestler,
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
The only other thing I really liked, and it was not really related to the match completely, after Ty Mello went out and ripped up the sign, the crowd sign, I liked Taz's comment, well, she really didn't put any effort into it anyway, kind of excusing the heelish behaviour. And I'm like, she didn't. It was just writing on a board. Like, fair enough. It deserved to be ripped.
I'd like to see a sign that you make, Jeremy.
Yeah. I have made. Well, I have delegated the work to my wife for crowd signs in the past, and there have been some really good ones. Yeah. One of which didn't get on television as such, but back in the day, back when you first started watching, actually, WWE used to do this thing where during the Raw commercial breaks, they would do some bits on WWE.com, and it would be like, what was his name? Todd Grisham talking to the crowd.
Oh, yes.
And all that kind of thing. And our sign did get on that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It was Bow Down to the Queen. It was, obviously aimed at Triple H, who was doing his King of Kings thing at the time.
Yeah.
But it was Bow Down to the Queen with a picture of the Queen on it.
Nice.
Yeah. So nice. I got on there. I think that's the only one that's ever got on TV. But yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure how we got there. Oh yeah, the ripping of the sign. That was
great.
And then my major con, I've only got one.
Right.
Early in the match when Ruby Soho kind of started standing up while pinning Ty Conti, and Ty Conti kicked out too. I'm like, right, so that wasn't where this was going to end then. You let her up. And not in the haha, I let you up because I'm a heel kind of way. It was it was sloppy. I didn't like that. Anything to add for that match?
No. Summed it up.
I don't think that was the best match of the night, honestly, so far.
Oh no, I don't think it was the best match of the night.
Yeah, I think the Jericho Andretti match was better.
Okay.
Personally. Backstage, we had Hangman Adam Page in the medical room.
Mm-hmm.
That was slightly confusing for my money.
Yeah.
I don't think I care about Hangman Adam Page anymore.
No, I don't.
The lingering thing, and I know that, CM Punk has basically been, derided and pushed out of the industry.
Yeah.
But I was really on CM Punk's side in that whole Hangman Adam Page thing because I don't feel like due respect was given not just to Punk but to all of the veterans from Hangman Adam Page. I'm not a fan anymore, and so meh. Sorry you got knocked out during the match, but
oh well,
yeah. And that brought us to the AEW World Championship. Definitely the most anticipated match of the night. MJF defending not only the World Championship, but the Dynamite Diamond Ring against Absolute Ricky Starks. First question, why does Absolute Ricky Starks still not have a sponsorship deal with Absolute Vodka? It's just, come on, guys. Come on.
Do they have Absolute Vodka over there in America?
I believe so, yeah. I think it's one of the main vodka brands. I'm pretty sure I had Absolute Vodka while I was out in the States. It's worth a Google, but I'm pretty sure they do. I'm sure I've seen adverts during the NFL for Absolute Vodka.
Well, get on Absolute Ricky Starks Twitter and just tweet him.
Yeah. And while we know we're getting sponsorship, the Jez Show is not sponsored by Pepsi, but I really should be.
Yes, you drink enough of it.
I'm wearing a Coca-Cola shirt, but that's, whatever.
We'll gloss over that.
When Pepsi have got their own holidays coming type Christmassy branding, I will wear that. But until then...
Holidays coming.
No, winter is coming.
Winter is coming, yeah.
Winter is coming. Winter is coming.
Don't really have
Pepsi Max. There you go. I wrote it for you, Pepsi. Make it so. Now, before we get into this match, I do want to solicit your opinion about a related topic.
Right.
The Triple B. The Big Burberry belt.
Oh, that.
What do you think about it? As a belt collector, you've got one or two behind you right there,
Have I?
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about it?
I think it's a good idea, but it isn't executed well.
All right. Is it not Burberry enough for you?
No, because if you just look at it from a distance, or like if it's on TV, most of the time it just looks brown.
That is true. Yeah.
When Burberry is quite that bright brown color with the dark stripes and all that sort of thing, it's like it just. I think it's a good idea, but it's not really working, and also it's not a leather strap.
Okay, what's it made out of then?
It's a vinyl strap like these are made out of.
Yeah, okay.
So not flexible.
I'm okay with that, because you're not going to get Burberry leather, are you? I don't know much about leather making, but...
You can get stuff printed on it.
Okay.
AEW have basically gone down the cheap route and basically just went, we'll just buy the vinyl, rather than actually spending a bit more money and actually getting people to like paint it on the leather strap itself.
I see. Yeah.
Laziness.
I mean, I'm not sure that it is actually, in partnership with the Burberry company. So
no.
I'm not sure you can actually say it's Burberry unless it's from them. So maybe that's partly why. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of copyright issue there. I don't know. But why aren't you in a partnership with Burberry? Again, all of these sponsorship and like working
you have
together
so many
deals,
sponsors.
like, just come on, it's obvious. Like, it's not like Burberry are doing anything anymore. Like, their brand was completely driven into the ground by chavs wearing it all the time. As it was in this country. And so, like, does anybody buy Burberry anymore? Like, that's part of the joke with MJF, is that, haha, he wears Burberry, that's funny. Like, so you should really lean into any positive press that you can get, Burberry company. So, yeah. But I did wonder what you thought of it, and I like it, but I'm with you. There could be more pop to it, in my opinion.
Also, it's not actually a real belt. It's one of the ridiculously expensive replicas that they made. I
did think it looked slightly different, yeah. It's not as shiny as the
and it's belt. Flat as hell. It doesn't have a curve to it.
There you go. I knew I was coming to the right person here, Dan. Like, when you want an answer, you go to the source, you go to the expert, and there it is. And I didn't even have to, like, call in an expert. We've got one right here on the Main Event podcast.
Boom.
You love to see it.
Shake, shake, shake the room.
Now then, on to the match. I have 2 pros and... No, I don't. I have 4 pros. And
4 pros?
Does that kind of sentiment agree with you? Did you like this match?
I did like this match.
So, in a word, this match was...
A good.
There we go. That's kind of 2 words, hyphenated, but I'll let you off. What did you like?
I'm dyslexic.
Shouldn't affect your ability to count, Dan. That's a different thing entirely.
Dyslexic affects that sort of stuff as well. Just roll with it here.
Okay. What did you like about the match?
Pretty much most things about it, really. Yeah. You know, Stark's holding his own. Heck, he was holding his own. You know, I like how MJF cheated to win as well.
Yeah, that's one of mine.
Just the way MJF is. And just, yeah. And I did like this is after the match when just MJF's face after he's being chased by Bryan Danielson.
Yeah. No, I liked Danielson's involvement at the end, and I like that he's effectively got next. That's going to be a good rivalry. That's going to replace what was obviously going to be an MJF CM Punk renewal of that rivalry, which is a shame. I really wanted to see that again, but you know that rivalry may come up again on our next episode as we discuss, you know, year-end awards and moments of the year and that kind of thing. You know, you'll have to tune in and find out, but I would think it will come back. I liked MJF's interaction with the crowd. I liked him going into the crowd, throwing popcorn back at the guy that threw popcorn at him.
Yeah.
He just took his entire popcorn and threw it at him. It's like, yeah, well, that's what you get. Douchey fan. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And just taking a hat off a guy and yeeting it further into the crowd. Like, it's just simple heel stuff, and it's really, really prickish, but it's MJF. That's what you want.
He's like the uber heel, so...
Yeah. If you think about the biggest prick you've met in your life, amplify that by 11, that's MJF. That's what he should be. Yeah. And I liked, in terms of the wrestling sense of it, the MJF countering the kick out into the Salt of the Earth armbar.
Yes.
That showed a more technical mat-based side of MJF that we know he can do, but doesn't tend to do because of the style that he wrestles.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice. The win with a low blow. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. That's what you want. The only con I've got, and while I agree with you that Ricky Starks held his own, from a slightly different aspect of that, I don't feel like Starks got enough offense of his own in.
Yeah.
He was playing defense the entire time, and any of the action that he did have seemed to be in retaliation to MJF and fighting MJF off. There was no moment in this match, really, where Ricky Starks held the dominant position and it looked like he could win.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the only thing that you would hope you could pull out of a match like this, in which it was obvious that MJF was going to win, because he obviously was.
Yeah.
So you want the crowd to believe, you want the audience to believe that, if they did this again next week, Ricky Starks could win it.
Yeah.
I didn't come away from this match believing that, even with the cheat to win finish and the low blow. So that's the only thing that was slightly lacking for me. We'll see this again in a long time, probably, but I don't know that it's completely elevated Ricky Starks in the way that they would have hoped.
No.
Will we see Ricky Starks do anything relevant for the next few months?
No.
I doubt it, to be honest. I really doubt it. And that's a shame. What is not a shame is that we predicted this one correctly. And so that brings our score on the day to Jez 3, Dan 3, and our year-to-date totals, as I scramble to update them, are thusly. I am on 14.
Yes.
You are on 11.
Ooh.
which are numbers the right way round as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not confident yet.
You're not like blazing away, are you?
I'm not, but what we also have to consider is that it's a very short quarter.
Yes.
As we discussed last week, there are only 4 or 5 events left.
Yeah.
And they're not entirely in your wheelhouse, if I may be honest. So I'm quietly confident. We'll have to see whether the Main Event Podcast World Prediction Championship will make its way to this shoulder.
No.
Yeah. The other question is, will Dan eventually take pictures of the World Prediction Championship? Answers on a postcard.
Yes, I will. Maybe.
I mean, to be fair, you haven't really had the weather for it, but did you get snow last week?
No, but we had just frost upon frost upon frost upon frost upon frost upon frost.
Yeah. No, you need some decent light for decent photos, but...
Yes.
Well, spring is coming eventually, I suppose.
Yeah. Not winter is coming, spring is coming.
Yeah. And then we can get some nice photos. But it's probably going to be me taking the photos, I would hope.
No.
When I pick up the belt at the end of January.
No.
Now, keeping to the theme, not only of this event, but the discussion we just had about the weather in this country right now, I ask you, Dan, today to give me a score for AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming out of 5 snowflakes.
Nice.
By which I mean the actual ice things, not people who are offended easily.
Which is a lot of people in the wrestling universe. I thought it was very meh. So I'm just going to go straight down the middle of 2.5.
It's rather generous of you, in my opinion. I'm going to give it a flat 2.
Oh.
It just didn't do it for me. The only real thing that was worth watching on this entire show was the main event.
Yeah.
I did like the Jericho Andretti thing, but it just wasn't special enough for what was supposed to be a special episode of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to stop trusting AEW to actually give me an extra special pay-per-view quality episode of Dynamite when they give it a fancy name, because the last couple of these that we've done, it hasn't been it, man. It really hasn't, I feel like you need to collect all of your good matches onto that one card.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what they were doing with Winter is Coming, but no, you've got the women's match next week, and they're just dragging it through all of their remaining shows for 2022 that all have special names. Holiday
Maybe
Bash,
we shouldn't trust AEW as much.
Perhaps they cannot be trusted. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Maybe what we should do, because obviously, if we don't discuss the odd episode of Dynamite, we only talk about AEW 4 times a year, which probably isn't fair. So maybe we should just quietly predict in the background and put together our own super card of the best of Dynamite special events in a given month or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can talk about Winter is Coming style events over and over again without just going,
Yeah.
On a more positive note, our final main event podcast of the year is the 2022 year-end rewards. That will come your way somewhere around the end of the year, literally, coming up to New Year's Eve and all that kind of area there. So make sure you tune in for that. There will be a People's Choice option, so make sure you're on our social media voting for that in the coming days, and make sure that you are joining us wherever you get your podcasts or wherever you watch. I think there's going to be some interesting choices for winners in the year-end awards. Wonderful categories such as on the other page. Who will ever forget the Nia Jax award that we gave out for the first time last year? The Match That Happened award. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
And then obviously we will give out our wrestlers and superstars of the year. And I think it's going to be tougher this year than it was last year. Yeah, we'll see. So tune in for that. Until next time, I've been Jez.
I've been Dan.
And this has been the Main Event Podcast. Peace.
Bye.